Welcome to CarePOD, a safe place to educate, inspire, and renew the caregiver. Listen in with our host, Dr. Kipley Bell, as she interviews different experts along the caregiving journey.
Yes, so I am here with Fitz Khoeler of Fitzness, keynote speaker, powerhouse boss lady, masters of sports fitness, really empowered woman, specifically in terms of inspiring us not only in our physicality, but how you bounce back from, life's challenges. So I'm very happy to have you today with us to inspire our audience in the Care Pod to talk about your journey, your why, etc. So tell us more about yourself and welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Kipley. I'm very happy to talk to you and to all the caregivers out there, professional and just what do we call it's not are we amateur caregivers if we're caring for our loved ones?
No, you're actually more professional than professionals, I would think at times, honestly. But yeah.
Well, you know what? I definitely give my husband and family full-blown professional credit for caring for me when I was going through it. So I'm a highly credentialed fitness expert. I've spent my entire life helping people live better, live longer, TV, radio, books, magazines. That's my forte, mass media, mass impact. I do work that helps people figure out fitness and health. And I do that keynote speaking and so forth. I had cancer. I was diagnosed, even walking the walk, living my best life as a healthy and athletic vegetarian person. I was diagnosed with cancer in 2019. I went through about a year and a half of chemo intertwined with radiation and surgery, and that was a bit of a nightmare. I was ravaged by my disease. I was a bald little skeleton at one point, weak, and it was, my mom at that midpoint was like, "You need to eat. You look like you're in the Holocaust." And I know, Mom. I know, thanks, Mom. But yeah, so I've been through it, and it became really apparent to me that I was very fortunate to understand how to rebuild my body, how to keep my mind strong to get back to healthy, fit, and vibrant. When I was in the darkest days, which there were many, I never had a doubt that I would get back to living life fully. But at that same time, I really I agonized from my peers, the millions of cancer patients and people who are ravaged by other diseases that aren't fitness experts, that don't have the knowledge to, pursue fitness, not only after, but during. Exercise and nutrition is so powerful, not only to the healthy person, it means more when you're sick. When someone knocks you down or something knocks you down, you get hit by a bus, you get zapped by lightning, you get struck by cancer or MS or Parkinson's, exercise becomes even more important. And that's at a point where, and doctors will tell you that, but they never tell you how. And so when I was going through it, I looked for resources, not for my own, but I was just curious and they didn't exist. And so that's, I got serious about helping people in hard times. And that's how Your Healthy Cancer Comeback, Sick to Strong, my book was born, and the Healthy Cancer Comeback Journal and my Noisy Cancer Comeback. It just, there's so many people going through so much, and health matters even more during hardship.
Wow. Now that is a powerful statement. Health matters even more during hardship. So let me back you up a little bit. Are you able to share specifically, take me through, you're this, health and fitness wellness expert, and then you're slapped with the diagnosis. Take me there, what specifically, if you feel comfortable sharing the type of cancer, et cetera, uh,
Yes.
and go from there in terms of the caregiving.
Yeah, so interesting. February of 2019, I'm at a race weekend. I announce races all over the country. That's part of my profession, but I was at a race weekend to run a race. And I got out of the shower 7 weeks after a crystal clear mammogram. In fact, it was less than 7 weeks, but I did this move. I just got out of the shower and I rubbed my underboob and I thought, oh God, there it is. I found the sizey lump. And I immediately picked up the phone. Immediately, 30 seconds later, I was on the phone, naked in the bathroom, calling my gyno saying, "Hey, I found a lump." They said, "Come on in tomorrow." And I said, "Well, I'm running a race tomorrow." And they said, "Come in Monday." And so quickly that led to the mammogram, ultrasound, where they saw not only the lump, but several swollen lymph nodes, which led to biopsies, and that call from the surgeon that says, Fitz, you have, I'm so sorry to tell you that you do have cancer. It's not only in your that mass, but it's in your lymph nodes. It's spreading through you like wildfire. It's aggressive, and we need to treat you aggressively and immediately. And so I launched into 15 months of chemo that was just savage, and 33 rounds of radiation. I had a lumpectomy, just the whole deal. And I was terrified at first. I thought for sure I'm dying, and I had no evidence to tell me I was dying. But I just thought, well, I'm the perfect beacon of health and happiness. And I don't even use the word perfect, but I kind of am, right? I'm always living my best life, helping all these other people lose weight and get fit and get strong and so forth. And I have the perfect family. And I thought, well, certainly I'm going to make the perfect tale of tragedy. And I suffered. And it wasn't only because I was afraid of dying, and I was, but I was afraid of losing my kids' lives. That was the most agonizing part. It's not watching Ginger and Parker grow up. She was 15, he was 13, and missing out on any of their
Well, milestones. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was that's punishing. So I was very grateful probably a week or so later when I had met with an oncologist, and he said, Fitz, we are going to cure you. He said, we don't guarantee anyone a cure, but breast cancer, thankfully, is 94% curable. Your case is specifically curable. He said it's going to be a rough road, but you can endure the cure and you'll get to the other side. And so I turned my focus to living, and mind you, I was still scared about it all. I'm afraid to have a blood draw. So if you can imagine that as a cancer patient, where they're going to poke you like in the chest, I'm
Yeah. The ports, the whole thing. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
it was hard, but
Yeah.
I can do hard things. And I figured out, the mental game was very important. And then I continued on with my career. I boarded over 30 airplanes out of Gainesville, Florida to go announce races and do corporate speaking, bald and gray and sick. But the moments where I got on those stages to do the thing that I love to do, to serve those people I care about, were miraculous, because those were the only times where I didn't feel sick, where I wasn't suffering. I got to be me because of my passion for them. So, I learned a lot in the process, and it's bettered me. It's bettered me. I wouldn't go back and redo and have cancer. Like, I'm not
Right.
that girl.
Absolutely.
However,
Right.
there's certainly some silver linings, and I really appreciate each day even more.
So, what do you think prepared you for the journey in terms of, I feel that somewhere along your fitness regimens, your, health protocols for yourself somehow best prepared your body to
Sure.
endure. What would you say those things were? Those items were?
Well, so it's very interesting. I would say, so I had 21 total rounds of chemo, but after the sixth, which was six of the very mean chemo, I go in before treatment. So you have to meet with your oncologist, and then he does some, a checkup, and he'll say, yes, you can have your drugs today, or no, your liver's looking bad. You got to wait or whatever. So I go in there for number six, and I'm a little bit of a basket case. I'm just nervous, and my fingernails are ripping off, and my eyelashes gone. Every part of my body is a mess. And so I'm nervous because I know what's coming, right? Chemo number one, scary because of the unknown. Chemo number six is scary because you know exactly what's going to happen. So I walk in there, and he goes, Fitz, you were doing so great. And I said, I'm not doing so great. He goes, no, Fitz, you are doing so great. And I said, Dr. Gordon, why are you saying this? I'm not doing so great. Every part of me is wrong. I'm so sick and everything hurts and stuff. He said, Fitz, I'm not saying you're not suffering. What I'm telling you is, if you are not so healthy and fit and strong coming into this, you wouldn't have been able to get on 12 planes to fly around the country to do all the stuff that you're doing. He said, I know you've been suffering, but your health and fitness has paid off in spade. In fact, if you were not so fit and healthy coming in, you likely would have been hospitalized for a month. Like, I'm giving you the meanest drugs I give anybody, and you've done miraculous things. So your health and fitness matters. And that was a real light bulb moment for me, that, okay, it is paying off. Even though I'm in a bad place now, I would be in an even worse place had I not started off really fit, nor done my best to continue at any level, to continue exercising and moving and eating nutritiously. So that was really powerful statement where I thought, oh, okay, it could be worse. And then, of course, my commitment to health and fitness brought me out of it in a very big way. And of course, it helps so much up here.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Feeling overwhelmed? To-do list growing by the minute? Wish you had a helping hand? Stay tuned. The Care Cab is on its way. An errand service specifically meeting the needs of caregivers, freeing up your time so you have more time to care for those you love.
Up here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what is that? What is fitness, right? Because for your caregiver who is enduring oftentimes a longer, more intense journey for either their aging loved one or a loved one that is going through a diagnosis that is a long haul, that kind of taking care of oneself becomes laughable at
Yeah.
times. So what does that look like in real time, in real life, in terms of the choices we make, etc.?
So there's twofold. There's the loved one, the patient. We're going to call that person the patient, and then we're going to talk about the caregiver. Number one, with any sort of uh, health struggle, whatever has caused it, so many people say you got to rest, rest, and rest is a very powerful tool for recovery too. But if all that person does is rest, their muscles start to atrophy. They become weaker. Do you want your already struggling person to become weaker? No, they
Right.
lose stamina. Every step they take becomes harder. They lose mobility. Nobody ever says things like, gee, my back is stiff and means it in a good way, right? So too much time in bed, too much time in a chair leads to lots of aches and pain. And then finally, balance will suffer. And with, you name it, injury, illness, age related issue, do we want these people to fall down? Because no, falls can be catastrophic. And so your person that's already struggling, they need to do what they can when they can. I'm not suggesting they sign up for a CrossFit class, but what I'm saying is if they can get out of bed and walk down the hospital room floor, that's fitness, right? If they can sit in the chair and lift their phone up above their head, this is fitness. If they can lie in bed and stretch and tuck their knees into their chest to stretch their low back, that's fitness. So that person needs it. And I'm not joking. That person will decline rapidly if you do not get them up and moving. And as a caregiver, this can be your job. We can go into the house or into physical therapy. So movement matters. I don't care what your person is dealing with. They have to move to better themselves and slow that decline. And that decline can go rapid like a mudslide. And then when we talk about caregiver fitness, well, not only does your health matter to you, but it matters to your infirmed loved one. So you have no choice but to work on your strength, your stamina, your flexibility, your balance. Because if you go to pot, there will be no one to pitch in like you do for your loved one. And your sanity matters. You still matter, whether you have a sick child, sick spouse, sick parent, sick neighbor, you still matter. You're still a person. And if you don't take care of yourself, now you're going to be someone who needs a caregiver. So it just can become cyclical nightmare if you're giving it up. And I tell you what, your friend having an issue is not an excuse for you to chow down on fast food that's garbage every day, for you to drink alcohol every day, for you to keep taking cigarette breaks. Again, your health matters. And if you want to live up to the expectations of that person and have a decent life yourself, you need to step it up. It's fine to go out for a night of drinking if you're a healthy 20-year-old. But if you're a 52-year-old couple and one of you is sick and the other one's stuck taking care of that alcohol break, it's got to go, or
Yeah.
freaking rare because the priority on health has to compound exponentially. Most people throw the priority on health in the garbage. And golly, I hope people are listening closely. I'm looking at you and poking you in the chest, folks. How to do what you can when you can, because your health matters, and exercise and nutrition is so freaking powerful. It will help that person too. Okay.
Absolutely. No, it's no, I'm empowered by the resilience and knowing how, serving patients and you watching the frailty of life day to day to see this stunning woman before me, knowing what you've gone through and how you're able to say, let's stop, like, stop being lazy, make a choice. There is a method to the madness. There's a reason why we say, make your lifestyle modifications now, because we all are a disease, a diagnosis away from a life transformative experience, one way or the other. So, to best be prepared, for lack of a better word, is important.
So Kipley, you just said it. I stand on stages all over America and beyond. And I tell people, prepare your body to do battle today, because you never know when illness or injury will strike, and you will be so much better suited to rebound and rebuild if you are strong and fit going into this. Again, so you don't have to be perfect, but can you do better now? Can you start moving the needle forward now? So if something happens and you slide back, well, sliding back to here is way better than sliding back to here. So, health matters, and nothing brings that into focus more than when you get a diagnosis.
Absolutely. So
And
tell
you're
me, who modeled this for you? Because I'm thinking of your children and I'm like, wow, what an example you're setting for them. Not only through your journey, but even now to continue to push. So, how was it modeled for you?
So I got to tell you, I didn't have a model. I just, this is who I am, right? So I started teaching fitness at 15. I fell in love with the process of connecting people and helping people, and then I really became a true believer. I just get it. It's my master's degree is exercise sports sciences, and I didn't leave it there. I've continued to do the research and the journals and the education. All arrows point towards exercise nutrition being one of the cures for a lot of things. I'm not saying Western medicine is important. I am, but if you look on any pamphlet, go to your doctor's office, your general practitioner, and grab a pamphlet off the wall. Almost every single illness or disease can be, dramatically decreased, reduced, cured, or alleviated with exercise and nutrition. It is one of the be all end alls for everything. So I just believe in it. And, here's the deal. It's not about not having compassion for yourself. I mean, I was so violently ill for so very long. There were days I definitely couldn't go walking around the block, so I'm not
Mhm, mhm.
radical about it. But on those days where I was stuck in bed, I did lift my legs up and down. When I was so sick, I had to get in the shower all the time. I had the stretching routine I did in the shower, and I put those in the book. There's all these photos in Your Healthy Cancer Comeback. It's exercises you can, like regular people exercises with bands and light dumbbells. And then there's exercises in a chair, because sometimes, you know, uh, whatever you might not be able to stand up, right? And then even when you're in bed, you can still do strength training. You can still do strength stretching. It's hard to do cardio in a bed. You could figure it out. But then shower activities. For me, I would put on Jerry Seinfeld. He's my favorite comedian. He makes me laugh. I needed laughter at that time. So I would put my cell phone in the corner and just find a Jerry Seinfeld interview or a stand-up show on YouTube. And then I would just stretch in the shower. And so I have photos in there on how to stretch in the shower. So, be compassionate, but still be proactive. You can balance the two.
Absolutely, absolutely. So where do you go from here?
Where do
If you say, wow, you know what? I'm pretty bad A. Like I'm doing the thing. I pushed through. I'm keynoting, I'm writing books, I'm doing all the things. How do you re-inspire? What's your future look like?
Well, the future for me is I've just got so much fun planned, and the fun for me is not saying no to opportunity. whether it's climbing a mountain. I just agreed to do some Dancing with the Stars fundraiser. I'm no dancer. I mean, I can dance, but I've never done that. I was invited to run the Boston Marathon about a year after I finished chemo, and I thought, well, what the hey? I mean, nothing can be harder than cancer, right? So I trained for that. I did that, and I'm no superhuman. I mean, I'm very average. I'm just someone who is committed and disciplined. So for me, I'm really excited to continue helping people. Fitness is always about you. And so the general public is certainly has a chunk of my attention. But, once you go through a hard time and you learn from that, I would have been derelict not to pass this forward. So, you know how every pregnant woman in the world gets what to expect when you're expecting?
Yeah.
Well, knowing that there really are not resources for cancer patients, this one, I'm hoping this ends up in the hands of every cancer patient and
Love
survivor.
it. Your healthy cancer comeback, sick to strong. Fitz Khoeler. Go
Yeah,
girl. Awesome.
yeah.
Awesome.
So that's my
Yeah.
focus.
So tell me, do you meet with clients? We're international. So do you do any remote work? Tell us how someone can connect with you, etc.
Yeah, thank you. So fitzness.com is my home base for everything. That's FITZNESS.com. There's tons of resources there, free resources, videos, nutrition advice, so on and so forth. But I do less one-on-one and more mass impact type work. So if anybody needs a speaker, they can go straight to fitzness.com, click the contact button and let me know. I travel across the world to speak, but I also do a lot of virtual presentations. My books are on sale at fitzness.com. Now the books are on sale on Amazon and Barnes and Noble and all platforms. And I even have an audiobook for my memoir, My Noisy Cancer Comeback. But everything that's ordered at fitzness.com, I sign every last book and I include free gift with purchase, and I wrap it beautifully because you know what? Cancer patients need a little extra sweetness in their day. So I try to make it a special experience.
Absolutely. So what's your last gift to us? What would you say to our CarePOD audience?
You matter. You matter. I mean, you're in the your days are built around caring for somebody else because you care about their health. You gotta, and I get that. So if you can partner with them, add to the mix of a million things you're already doing, keeping them fed and sheltered and so forth. Go for walks together if you can. Get in the pool and wiggle. Get on the floor and stretch. Sit in bed and stretch. Do what you can when you can for that person. But then also make sure you have time for your body and your own mind. You need the break. And when I was sick, oh gosh, there were days where if my husband didn't bring me a drink, I wouldn't have had a drink. It was that bad. But I also needed him to go exercise. I needed him to go have lunch with a friend. And don't feel selfish for doing those things for yourself. The better you are, the better you'll be able to take care of your person. So please prioritize your movement. Please prioritize nutrition and get creative with it. I have one friend, she's so lovely. Her husband was wounded in the military, and he will need a lifetime worth of care. And so she has 3 different gym memberships, one near the hospital where he's often in, and then one near his favorite physical therapy place and one near home. And so she's taking extra steps. And if you can't afford 3 different gym memberships, then okay, we'll find the nearest park by your person's hospital or rehab place. So, you got to get creative. You got to force it in. And if you need any guidance, if you need any encouragement, I'm at Fitzness on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube. Please reach out. I am more than happy to connect with you and share some love and encouragement and direction if you need it. But yeah, you matter too. That's my message.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much for spending time with us today. Such an empowering conversation, and I'm sure you will bless so many in our audience. So thanks again.
Thanks, Kipli.
Great information right from the source. For more information on how to caregive like a boss, check out impactfulcaregiving.com. Want to be a guest on the show? contact us at CarePOD at impactfulcaregiving.com.